Okay, today, you guys, I want to talk about something that I'm not so proud of, and I'm going to talk about a mistake. Okay, sometimes people get on these videos and they just talk about all the good stuff, so I'm going to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly. So, don't make this mistake. I just so blessed and fortunate that it kind of worked out for my good. But this video is for new tax deed investors that are going to public auctions and they're excited for the first time and they're just wanting to buy a property. It's really important to do your due diligence and your research before you go and buy a property. So don't be like me. I went like a couple months ago, as you guys probably seen on some video footage. I went to Oklahoma auction and it was massive. I mean, just massive. And the prices were completely unreal, right? So I'm saying this all to say that I kind of got caught up in the hype. So I did not do my due diligence, you guys. And I don't know how many times I say this, I preach this to my coaching clients and to my students, is the money is in the buy. So in order for the money to be in the buy, you have to do your due diligence, right? So don't make this mistake. So first of all, I was totally unprepared because all I had in my mind was that, okay, I need to register, I need to get there, I need to get my money on reserve, so when I bid, I don't have to keep going back and forth to the table. But what I did not think about was how many properties was going to be at this auction. So this was the amount of properties at this auction, you guys. Look at all these properties, tons and tons and tons of properties. So I literally went up there on Saturday. The auction started on Monday. There was no freaking way that I was gonna go. It says 1,700 properties. There was no way I was gonna get through all of these properties in like 2 days and be on time to the auction. Plus, on top of that, you guys, this was a state in a city that I've never been to. I just so happened to hear, about Tulsa and Black Wall Street, and I was like, oh, I want to go visit there. And while I'm there, let me check into the Tulsa tax deeds. And so that's actually how I stumbled across, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So back to the story of why don't make this mistake. First of all, make sure you know how many properties is going to be at the sale, because I have been investing in Texas, and we'd be lucky if we have 100 properties by the time the auction comes in certain counties. And in some counties, like Collin County, which is a really popular county, they don't hardly have any properties. So this was like massive for me, right? So the mistake that I made is that I got caught up in the hype, right? Because things was going for like $100, $300, $1,000, and I feared of missing out. So to make a long story short, I end up buying 5 properties for $10,000. Now, the bad thing about that is that I brought them sight unseen. So I didn't know if they were just, ponds or lakes or a ditch or a sidewalk. I had no clue. So that was the bad part, right? And I would highly suggest that you do not ever do that. It's a mistake, it's a mistake, it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Luckily for me, though, I did meet some friends. I am a social butterfly, and I just so happened to meet a real estate agent at the auction, and she basically was like, these are the areas you want to focus on. These are the streets you want to focus on. Anything in this area is good. So that was the good part. Now, the ugly part is that all these properties was ugly. I mean, okay, I got 5 properties for $10,000, so you can imagine what they look like. I will probably have some video footage on them as I start developing them or knocking them down, because some of them probably need to be knocked down. But what I want you to get from this video is not making the mistake of doing your due diligence. I would highly suggest that you never buy a property sight unseen. Even land, sometimes you want to go see it because you don't want it to have any environmental issues. You don't want it to have any zoning issues, and you want to make sure that it's actually sellable, you know, that you can resell it. Lucky for me, I was blessed this time that I bought these properties in a decent area. Now, the bad part about this is I got all my little deeds, right? I got all my little deeds, and guess what else I got? I got bills to mow the damn lawn, okay? So I'm saying this all to say that's why it's important to do your due diligence and don't make the mistake that I did by buying properties sight unseen. Because what can end up happening, like I did, I bought 5 properties sight unseen, and because of that, when I got the deeds, I also got a bill that I need to remove stuff off of one of the properties. I need to mow the lawn on one of the properties. And so that's what happens when you don't do your due diligence and you buy stuff sight unseen, is that you end up sometimes having to pay more than what you thought you originally gonna pay for. But in my next video, I do have some good news, because even though I brought 5 properties for $10,000, I'm gonna sell one of those properties to so the good thing is that I could sell one of my properties and it'll pay off all the other ones, and I will not fix it up. I'm not going to tear it down. I'm just going to pretty much wholesale it for really cheap. I probably sell it for like 10 grand, but at least I get my original investment back, and now I have 4 properties. And so I'll be talking about that in my next video, because I pretty much paid $2,500 or less for each property. But luckily for me, I did buy in decent areas where the value is high enough for me to like quadruple my return. And I'll talk about that in my video and basically tell you how you can utilize this strategy the smart way. Don't do it my way, whereas you're just lazy and you just don't want to go look at the properties and you buy them sight unseen. Do not do that. I advise no one to ever do what I did. But I will show you a way to do it a smart way, strategy wise, in regards to buying tax deed properties or even tax deed land, so that you could double, triple, or even quadruple your money. So stay tuned for the next video. And if this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. I truly appreciate